bear scat. From last year, probably. So, I've had the JX Omega for like maybe a month now, and this is kind of my take on it, I guess. It's like, if you're looking for like a review with like every spec and all that, I'm probably not gonna have that in this. There's a lot of really good channels out there that do that. This is just kind of like what I like about it and that sort of thing. But it is like an 8-inch blade-ish, and it has a really long handle for the size of the knife compared to like what else would be out there, sort of thing. And when I saw it, I thought that I would really like it. And I have one of the guy who designed this knife. I have one of his other knives, and I was really liked it. So I thought I'd get it and give it a try. And I really like it. I really like it. In my mind, it's probably like one of the better like survival knife like in this kind of size out there. I'm not trying to like there's a lot of really good ones, you know what I mean? It's pretty tight market, but I think that it's got a lot going for it. The blade is awesome. The blade is super awesome. It's just like the perfect grind for like how it's designed. It's like well thought out, like really perfect. The saber, it's like I would say it's a high saber grind, and it's just like the perfect depth for the thickness of the blade. So it'll baton really well. It'll, you know, once you get in there, the saber, once, you know, it gets in there fairly easily with the saber grind, then once it's in there, it'll wedge it apart. You'll get a good crack in it pretty much as soon as you get the blade sunk in all the way. And, but it still will, carve notches and, feather stick really well. And, I've also, you can use it it'll cut through meat pretty good. Like, I wasn't really expecting that, but like if you want to cut through like beef or, you know, cut up, slice things you know, kind of thin, or, just want to get my knife away from the fire a little bit so I don't do that too much, but, slice things fairly thin. And, also it will, I've, you know, like fish, like I don't know, you're not gonna like Y-bone a pike with it, but you can, you know, if it's all you had, you can process fish with it and that sort of thing. And I have something else to say about that later, but I'll save that. But yeah, so the blade is well thought out. It looks really cool. I would say it's like a Bowie design. Clip point, it's not sharpened. The clip point here is this wedge or whatever. It's pretty thick, like that. It's a really tough design. Like, even though it's not, I think it's 3/16. It's, you know, it's good. It'll I like the stabbing, not just for like the stabbing. Like, I like the point, the clip point, not just for stabbing, but I like to sometimes like reverse hammer grip to split up small wood. You know what I mean? Little pieces that you wouldn't want a baton. You're just good for that, to split them up like that way. And yeah, and then the handle is really well thought out too, because you got a lot of positions on it. You grab back here, and then you have like a chopping, and it's not a big chopper, but it chops really well for its size. Like as good as anything else in this size. It's gonna chop that well. Probably a little bit better. And so it'll chop really well in that size. But and it's really good. I like that because I like where I live, a lot of the times what I go after for firewood is like the lower branches of the trees that the tree has let die because it's trying to grow higher. You know, those branches aren't getting any sunlight. They make really good firewood because for me, where I live, they're off the ground, so you know they get wet and stuff, but they dry out really fast because of and they're dead, so like they're gonna catch fire, you know, and burn better than a live branch. But so it's good for that. I really like it for that. And then like when you're trying to craft stuff, like you know, cut things for like figure 4 deadfalls and all that, you can kind of cut it into size really easily. Like it chops through like stuff this size, no problem. You know what I mean? And then you can chop some, you know, saplings and all that if you don't have an axe and you want to use that, you can. And And then you have this would be like you know, it may be like fighting knife kind of grip or whatever. And then, so the balance point is pretty much back here, like where this nub is. It's kind of where the balance point is. So when you bring it up here, it's like, it feels way smaller when you're trying to carve with it than than it would for a big knife. When you get it up here, so much weight is in the back that you kind of forget the size. Like, you forget about the handle and how big it is, and it's pretty light. When I first got it, I thought maybe I would have preferred the balance point to be here where the choil is, or even here. But now that I've had it for a while, I think that it was probably the right decision to make it back here, because it works really well for like a smaller crafts and stuff. And then the big thing for me that and I've tried to find like other people reviews to like talk about it, but no, I haven't really found anyone to go over it, is the steel, the SK85. I've never used it before, and I haven't really found, like, all I've really heard is that it's kind of like a souped up 1085, and but I've never really heard anything else about it. So I was a little skeptical going into it, because like Work Tuff gear, it's not like super expensive, and I'm assuming this is kind of like a budget steel, but the grass is catching fire. It rained tons, so that's not going anywhere. It's been raining for like a couple days, but they yeah, the SK85. So I didn't really find much about it, and they're not like crazy expensive, but I mean, it's like a $280 or something American, and then I live in Canada, so it's like a lot more for me. So it was, I wanted to kind of know about steel, but I couldn't really find anything about it. But I just like the design and all that, so I bought it, and I really like the steel a lot. And I kind of have a different description than just a souped up 1085. I could totally see where they get that from, like souped up 1085. But I think this has something going for it that a lot of maybe 1085 or steels in that area, carbon steels in that area, wouldn't have. And that's, it takes a really nice edge. You can get a really, really fine, like super sharp edge on this. A lot better than like 1095 or some of those knives, the longer grain knives. This seems like a finer grain steel. Like, I don't know if you've ever had 3V. It's not like the steel is not like 3V at all, but 3V has like a powder steel, and you could operate, like get it like super, super sharp. And this is very similar to that. You can get a really, really sharp edge on it. And I find that if you're trying to like cut up meat or stuff like that, it makes such a big difference having that really, really nice sharp edge on it. And the 1085, like what people say about souped up 1085, I totally get that, because it seems like it's probably like a tough steel, like similar to 1085. And but I would say that it probably has, like it's not like I wouldn't compare it with like maybe like a super steel. I don't really know. I've only had it for a month, so, but I have used it quite a bit, and I would say that it holds a edge quite a bit better than 1085 would. The other thing I thought I'd mention is the sheath. The sheath is pretty cool. I love the Kydex, and I think it's really, really well made. The only thing I would bring up is the clips. It comes with a thing so you can carry it like Ranger carry, or across your chest. There's a name for that, I know it, but I'm having a mind blank here. But the clips are pretty cool. They're just really, really big, which is fine for me, because cross dry, I kind of want it to like, move around a little bit. But yeah, they're really big. If you were like, I don't know, like You could always make some out of leather if you want it to be like a specific size, and just screw them in there with the screws they give you and some washers. Or you can buy, I'm pretty sure you can buy some clips, like some well-made, like name brand clips, like mounts that you could put on there that would fit this. I saw a couple on the internet that I was almost bought, but this is fine, so I'm just gonna stick with this for now. But yeah, the sheath is pretty well made. This is good hardwood too. There's not the best pot hanger, but there's a little bit of a pot hanger. I'm standing up. Usually I get pretty clean with these, but square notch. Here. Number 7 notch. Tent pegs or whatever. Not too bad.